While traveling, Fel explained their current location. He mentioned that the forest they are currently in is occupied by orthros and griffins, so humans usually have to travel around this forest. Mukuda was afraid after hearing it, as they are currently cutting through the middle of their territories. Fel is annoyed with Mukuda's reaction because he doesn't see these monsters as threats, even though they are boss-level monsters. He added that only the younger monsters would dare fight him. Hearing this, Mukuda realized that there were more than one monster of both orthros and griffin, which caused him to panic. Fel confirmed this, as he said that there would be many monsters of the same type in order to occupy a territory. Mukuda wants to go around the forest, but Fel insists they will go straight through. After some time, the noise of monsters running in their direction could be heard already. Fel stopped and waited for the monsters as they surrounded him and Mukuda. Some of the monsters are intimidated by Fel, but one of the young orthros is eager to fight. Fel defeated the orthros easily with his wind magic, and he looks proud after this. The other orthros run in fear after Fel told them to get lost. Sui is amazed at his uncle's strength, while Mukuda asks about the magic Fel used. Fel started explaining his magic, visibly proud of it. Sui wanted to use the same skill, but Mukuda answered that it's unlikely because he doesn't have a claw, while praising Sui's ability to shoot acid. Sui was really happy because of it, while Fel is annoyed that they are ignoring him. While taking a break, Mukuda was collecting water from the pond, but he's still weary of the surroundings. Fel commented about it while also ensuring him that the orthros should have learned their lesson and would stop trying to fight. Fel then asked about his meal, but he was still worried about being in the middle of monster territory, so he didn't answer Fel's question. However, when it was Sui who asked for his meal, Mukuda was much nicer and asked Sui if he wanted to start eating. Fel complained after seeing this. Then, while preparing their meal, Mukuda asked how much longer it would take before they could get through the forests. Fel answered that they have traveled over halfway, so Mukuda concluded that it will take another 3 weeks, with a grave expression on his face. Afterwards, Mukuda took out the black serpent meat as he remembered that it tasted like chicken. He's planning to use it for their meal, eager to try something different this time. Then he bought a bunch of ingredients that he had used before with shrimp, although this time he will be using them on snakes. He started by cutting the meat off the bones, then he prepared the snake meat like chicken meat and cut it into bite-sized pieces. Then he added salt and sake before letting it rest to absorb the alcohol, and then he diced the garlic, ginger, and green onions. Then he mixed up different seasonings for the sauce. Afterwards, he mixed the snake meat with some potato starch before stir-frying it with ginger and garlic. Then he added the sauce and white and green onions. Lastly, he added the starch mixed in cold water to thicken the sauce. The dish is chili snake, using black serpent meat. Mukuda was still hesitant to eat the snake meat. However, he tried to think that it was chicken meat. But after the first bite, he was happily surprised by how delicious it was. After seeing Mukuda eat, Fel stole the plate and devoured the chili snake right away. He was amazed by the perfect mixture of sweet and spicy taste covering the meat. Then he demanded more, but Mukuda refuted that he was still preparing it. However, when it was Sui who asked for food, he responded sweetly that he would prepare a lot for him. While Mukuda continuously cooked the chili snake, his two familiars devoured everything until they ran out of meat. Mukuda could just sit and laugh, feeling helpless, after Fel and Sui praised the food he cooked. But after seeing a couple pieces of meat, he used them to make a sandwich and eat it away from his familiars. They continued their journey the next day. Mukuda was sitting at Fel's back, still vigilant of the surroundings, but he was shocked when Fel suddenly stopped. Fel saw a healing mushroom in front of them, and he explained that it is a rare medicinal ingredient but can also be eaten directly to heal deep cuts or broken bones. Mukuda decided they should pick some of it, and at the same time Sui woke up and asked if he could eat the mushrooms, as they looked delicious to him. After getting Mukuda's permission, he started consuming some mushrooms on the ground while Mukuda picked up as much as he could. While he was happy with his harvest, he noticed that Sui started glowing beside him. Mukuda was worried, but the glowing suddenly stopped, and Sui started jumping around while saying nothing was wrong and he felt healthy. Mukuda was still worried, so he decided to check Sui's status, and he noticed that Sui gained a skill called potion creation. Mukuda asked Fel about it, so Fel explained that it should be because Sui consumed a large amount of healing mushrooms, similar to a slime he saw before that gained metal-related skills after only eating metal. Mukuda was proud of Sui after realizing that he had gained a really valuable skill. Then he asked Sui to give his new skill a try. Sui had no idea how to use it, so he concentrated while Fel and Mukuda watched worriedly. Then Sui finally managed to succeed, and the potion came out of his hand. Mukuda put it inside a bottle as he started inspecting it, also using his appraisal skills to check its description. Then both Mukuda and Fel are dumbfounded, as the description says it is possible to survive impending death after consuming it. Then Mukuda asked Sui for some explanation. But Sui's explanation was that he could make potions that could make lots of ouchies better, potions to make some ouchies better, and potions to make little ouchies better. Then Mukuda took out 2 more bottles for the low and medium quality potions. Fel explained that this was the first time he saw a slime that could produce a healing potion, and he also praised Sui's high intelligence. Sui was happy after hearing his uncle's praise as he jumped into Mukuda's hands. Mukuda is also proud of Sui's strength, his ability to make healing potions, and most of all, his cuteness. 3 days after entering the Griffin's territory, they finally came across them. Mukuda was panicking while sitting at Fel's back. Fel told him to calm down before the Griffin suddenly addressed him respectfully. They are surprised that it could talk, but the Griffin explained that he's the only one of his kind who could talk, and he respectfully asked Fel for a duel, explaining that his pride will accept him as a leader after fighting a powerful creature like Fel. Fel agreed, and the Griffin was prepared to lose his life. However, Mukuda asked Fel not to kill the Griffin as he woke up Sui. The Griffin is using his ability to fly as an advantage. However, he still couldn't land a hit on Fel. Mukuda couldn't follow the fight at all. At the same time, the Griffin started diving at Fel. But as the Griffin got near him, Fel started a tornado that consumed the Griffin. Fel only stopped it after Mukuda complained when he noticed the Griffin's grave injuries. Fel refuted that he warned the Griffin that he wouldn't go easy, but Mukuda was still upset with how badly injured the Griffin ended up. However, the Griffin was grateful to Fel for going serious against him before it lost consciousness. Mukuda took out the high-quality healing potions while also asking Sui to help him apply healing potions to the Griffin's wounds. Even though his wounds healed, the Griffin was dispirited after losing badly. But Mukuda showed him Fel's small injury from their fight. Seeing this, the Griffin started roaring, and his pride showed up, also indicating that they had accepted the Griffin as their leader. The Griffin thanked Fel while he gave Mukuda a feather, saying that his descendants wouldn't be eaten by the Griffins if they passed by their territory while carrying this feather. Mukuda was scared after finding out that Griffins really eat humans. Then the scene changed, showing Mukuda as he prepared their meal. Using the excuse that he had to fight earlier in the day, Fel demanded even more meat. Although Mukuda refuted that he's already consuming a ton of meat every day, he still decided that he would cook their remaining meat for this meal. He tenderized the orc meat before covering it with flour, whisked eggs, and panko. Then he proceeded to deep fry it. After it was golden brown, he sliced it and put it on top of sliced cabbage before adding the sauce on top. Fel and Sui were excited to eat the tonkatsu. Fel couldn't wait to eat it while it was piping hot. After seeing his 2 familiars eat happily, Mukuda also started eating. He couldn't help but think about the orcs. But he's satisfied after tasting the tonkatsu. It didn't take long before they finished their first servings, so Mukuda had to resume cooking. However, Fel suddenly asked if he was sending the goddess Ninrir his offerings, but Mukuda completely forgot about it, so Fel ordered him to do it as fast as he could. They finally managed to leave the forest the next day, and while Mukuda is celebrating, Fel still looks annoyed. While checking the map, Mukuda mentioned that they are almost out of meat. Fel panicked after hearing this as he ran right away to look for the road leading to the town. However, Fel suddenly stopped as he informed Mukuda about a caravan being attacked nearby. Mukuda asked Fel to save the caravan while offering a luxurious dinner in exchange. So Fel dashed towards the caravan. The fight was in the thieves' favor, but Fel arrived and howled to intimidate everyone, then threatened the thieves, so they dropped their weapons in an instant. The merchant and the adventurers introduced themselves while thanking Mukuda, then asked if Fel was his familiar, which Mukuda confirmed. The adventurer also remembered the rumor of an adventurer who had contracted a fenrir because of this. After finding out that the caravan was also heading to Leonhardt, Mukuda asked to tag along, and the merchant happily agreed. Because Mukuda forgot to send his offerings, the goddess Ninrir was sulking beside the well, but she suddenly noticed that Mukuda had started praying. She was really annoyed because Mukuda forgot to pray, but Mukuda was prepared as he offered all kinds of Western desserts that the goddess really liked. However, she demanded that from now on he offer the same amount of desserts as this time. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and look forward to the next part.